Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of It's a Sure Thing, the conscious community collective show where we interview extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I say extraordinary because they're not ordinary people, they're doing amazing things. So please let your friends and family know to come along and join in tonight with the live if you're listening from Adelaide, South Australia. Wherever you're listening from, please send us a message in the comments section and let us know where you're listening from. So let's spread the joy and let's keep increasing and expanding the enlightened conscious community. So yes, thank you for joining us. Now, tonight we have a very special lady who I've known for many, many years, who's been in the wellness industry for a long time. And she has just kept expanding her business and growing. And she does amazing things with looking after people's health and well-being, using natural products and natural therapies. And we'll tell you more when we get her on board. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome the wellness whisperer, Debbi Kemp. Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Hi, Sue. How are you?
Really good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We've got Diane Wilson from Ballarat, Victoria. Come on, do you know Diane?
No, I don't think I do. Okay.
Hi, Diane. All right. Hi, Diane. Thank you for joining us. So, Debbie, now your journey started a long time ago and you've done lots and lots of things, but tonight we're going to focus on soul retrieval, the journey home. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you mean with soul retrieval? It's not everybody that understands that. So can you give us a bit of an idea, please?
Sure. Well, a soul retrieval, as souls, we've all had some form of traumatic experience, and it doesn't have to be life-threatening. It can be something even as simple as your own birth. So when we have these experiences, our soul can fragment. And when it fragments, there's a piece of us that isn't accessible anymore. And sometimes it can it leave us with a feeling of we're just not whole, or there's something missing. And that's, when we can then look for that part of the soul and bring it back into wholeness.
Beautiful, beautiful. So how do you do that?
Well, there's ways of doing it through a facilitator. So it starts off with a small breath work to get someone into the relaxed state, and then we go searching for it. And sometimes it's helpful if the person, you can sort of start the journey on your own by wondering what part of this would be missing, and but then the facilitator can take you through a process of finding out what. Give it a name, give the missing piece a name, and then asking if it would even be willing to come back, and is there a space for it to come back? Because often there's a reason why that piece is left, and it can be as simple as that. In my own example, I had the irresponsible part of me leave, because basically it told me I was too damn boring. So it didn't want to come back to begin with. So it was a negotiation of finding that balance of the irresponsible and carefree, I'd rather put it, and then would that be able to blend and join the responsible part. So that was an example of my experience when I did the soul retrieval.
So are there parts of you that you can choose to leave behind and move forward, or is it the full integration of everything because it's light and dark, so to speak?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's up to the individual whether they, whether they feel like there's something missing. And sometimes it could be that, there's a serious side of us and there's a playful side of us. And you don't want either one of them to be out of balance, because if you're too playful and carefree, then you're probably never going to get anything done. And if you're too responsible, you're probably not going to have a lot of fun. So again, you could go on forever, but we've often got some at least one major event, and that one is the one that could be, causing the biggest hole in our soul that needs to be integrated.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Debbie, you do this at Seacliff Park, at your beautiful studio or wellness centre at Seacliff Park?
Yes.
Yep. And are you able to do these sessions online as well via Zoom for people?
Not really, because you basically have to get the client into a that they can still respond, they can still answer you, but they have to be in a very relaxed state. So I guess over the phone, it's not, or over Zoom, it's not as simple to do.
No, that's okay. Okay. Now, just wanted to acknowledge Donna O'Keefe is here. Hello, Donna. Thanks for joining us. And Adair from Coochie Mudlow Island in Queensland, of course. And Adair's asked a question: is that like shadow values at all?
I don't know. I guess sometimes I wouldn't call it a shadow value. I would just say that, even through your own birth, there can be a trauma that went through, and it might have been your actual birth. You might have been a forceps or something traumatic happened. So then a piece of your soul just goes, I'm out of here. And you don't even realize it until you see a pattern of just, that and addictions come into play there. When there's a missing part of us, we fill it up. We fill it up with those addictions, and we all know what they can be, whether it's food, alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, all of those things. I think we're always aware. We're aware that there's a missing part of us, and that's when we can go on a journey to go find it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And can it be ancestral? Another question from Adair. Thank you. Can it be ancestral?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, this lifetime, this is just the lifetime we're in at the moment, but yes, they definitely, past lives can come into it, all sorts of places. You never know where you're going to go. And a lot of the times our phobias and everything have come through from past life experiences that we're just not conscious of in this lifetime.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And welcome to Chris Pitcher, who's just said good evening. Didn't think you were going to be able to make it tonight.
No, hi, Chris.
It's great. Yeah, great to have you. Chris as well. Yeah, she's a wellness champion, isn't she?
Yeah, it's lovely, Chris.
She's great. Okay, now I would like to talk a little bit, or like you to talk a little bit rather. Alex Merrick. Oh, hello, gorgeous. Haven't seen Alex for years.
Hi, Alex.
Loving the topic. Now I came along to see you last week. I think it was it last week or anyway? I came along to see your beautiful healing space and tried out your quantum bio health mat. And I reckon within 5 or 10 minutes, I actually woke myself up snoring because I was that deep.
It's pretty relaxing.
And I didn't think I snored, but I heard myself snore. So with this quantum biohealth mat, I'll let you do the explanation, but I know that I felt amazing after I got off it. So can you share a little bit about that for us, please, Debbie?
Well, the quantum biohealth mat, there's 8 different therapies in it, and they all do something different. So it was founded by a lady in Sydney, a kinesiologist, Anna Kiko, and it's something with all the different therapies. It's sort of a one of a kind mat. So the therapies involved in infrared therapy, negative ions, hot rocks. PEMF, photon light. What else is it? How about bioscalar torsion? So all of those things, they sound a bit big, but I can explain them in more detail.
What's PEMF, please?
The PEMF. So oh God, what's the actual? God, I get so used to just abbreviating them.
Sorry.
See, she threw one at me. She said she wasn't going to throw one at me, but it's all. Hang on. It's negative ions. So negative ions is what like we know that from the beach. So being around negative ions. So I've even got a little sheet that actually says here. You have to excuse me. So small electrical currents and magnetic fields exist in the human body. PEMF devices emit similar magnetic fields, nearly identical to these frequencies created by your cells, organs, bones, and tissues. So they are like a regeneration of what we can naturally produce. So it's just giving us another boost of that. So do we get there? So there's eight different therapies on it, but again, all therapies have got their own way of doing it. So in connection with the when we're talking about the doing the work, any form of natural therapy works for some. Some people are just right into craniosacral or Bowen or crystal therapies or whatever it is. But what we're trying to do with the soul retrievals is get to the end result. So the end result mean that the therapy itself isn't the healer. What it does is it creates an environment for self-healing. So it just might be another layer to bring up another little piece of the puzzle. So these aren't, nothing is, no therapy or a therapist is the healer. It's just about removing some of the debris or raising vibration to allow things to drop in or to remove themselves, so we clear the path to get where we want to get.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Adair's asked a question: Is what is a quantum biohealth mat? Is it like a massage chair with different settings? I'm trying to visualize, trying to picture it.
Okay, it's on the website, on my website, and there's a photo of it there. But it's a mat that goes on top of it can go on top of a normal bed, or it can go on top of your massage table. So it's the size of the massage table, so it's fully portable, and then you can adjust the different settings. So it can be just the photon light, it can be just the infrared, or you can just go for the whole whiz bang, which is what I do. And yeah, so you've got it, but it's something that can just be popped onto a massage table and you just lie on it, as you know.
A bit like a mini electric blanket, because you plug it in, don't you?
Yes.
So, and it's got like bits on it.
Yep.
I don't know
and it's also in the frequency side of it, the sacred sound frequency side of it, because Annie Kiko is a music nutritionist. So she's actually, she's a song, she produces music and she's a song singer. It's actually got the equivalent to 72 sound baths. So that's the sound frequency part of it. You can't hear it. But again, what I do is I also put on frequency music as well. And then there's sacred geometry in there too. So the sacred geometry is embedded into the mat itself, and it's got jade and tourmaline crystals embedded into the mat. So you've got a very high level of therapies all in one. So that's the process of it all, of getting that many different therapies, raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and again, when we're in that relaxed state, that's when most healing does occur, because we're often too busy running around, and that's why things like what we can do at home, getting back into nature, meditation, tapping, all those things that we can help ourselves at home, not necessarily have to see anybody outside the home, will just keep moving us closer and closer to the feeling well.
Absolutely. And the other thing, when I was laying on the table, underneath the table and all around the room actually, is crystals and your sprays that you make and your organites. So oh my lordy, so there's just organites everywhere. Now, I don't know whether anybody understands what an organite is. I know a few years ago I had no idea what it is. Could you please briefly explain what an organite is and what it does, please?
Sure. Well, an organite, they can come in different shapes, and you can. I make mine from pyramids. And again, there's lots of pictures of them on my Facebook and my website. And so they're a ratio of metal to crystal, or you can use seashells. I've done ones with seashells as well. So what the metals will do, and that being the non-organic, it attracts and then consequently repels negative energy. So when you're talking Wi-Fi, radiation, negative energies, negative people, and then the crystals, that's being organic, will attract and then hold the energy. So you've got sort of like it move around of bringing the energy in, repelling it, and then the crystals will then hold the positive energy. So they're good to have around, Wi-Fi, EMF type situations, or for sleep. So insomnia and people for sleep. I have one in my car. And yeah, my grandkids have all got them. they all really like them, and they can be all customized. So basically, even if you've got someone who's, constantly on a computer all the time and thinks it's a bit of woo-woo, and you can actually, it'll still work the same, and you can customize them to sporting teams, or my son-in-law's got a Port Power one on his computer, which he really loves actually. But yeah, it's still doing the purpose of what they're designed for.
Excellent, thank you. And Adair had another question to ask. What is sacred geometry? Good question, Adair. Yeah, we kind of get used to talking this lingo, but 15 years ago I had no idea what Reiki was or anything. So yeah, good question. What's sacred geometry?
Okay, so sacred geometry. So Metatron's cube, if everyone wants to look up what Metatron's cube is all the platonic shapes, all the solids. So everything in nature, everything in creation is geometry. So when you talk about sacred geometry, then you'll have like Metatron's cube, the flower of life, all the symbols that we see, the Shiyantra, all those symbols that they actually, you can find them in flowers and in plants. And so it's what nature is. Nature is sacred geometry. So there's the certain, so Metatron's cube has got every one of the platonic shapes in there. So from the cube to the, dodecahedrons and hexahedrons and all sorts of pyramids and all sorts of different shapes all go into sacred geometry.
Yeah, and our body is made up of sacred geometry. So shapes, essentially, it's shapes, and in nature, it's the balance and the synchronicity, isn't it, of everything being in balance, like a mandala, which is like like what I've got behind me. Mandala. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for explaining that. So now the other thing that you do is clean living consults. So I know we've talked about energy and frequencies and vibration, but clean living is a massive part of what you do as well, isn't it? Because it's the emotional, it's the physical, it's the mental, it's the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can have all these therapies and you can have them facilitated, but there's so much that we can do to help ourselves. And it's not about giving up anything, because from experience, if you try and take something away from somebody, they're going to dig their heels in. So you're offering alternatives. So, a clean living consult can be that, we go through a pantry and then we go, you can still have, treats and breads and sweets and things, but, using alternative methods. I also do, I'm with a consultant with a company, a makeup company. So I can do get a group of ladies in and we can color match your skin tones. So these are all cosmetics that are, all been natural, safe, animal cruelty free, all of that stuff. So, it's when you add up all the different things, especially for women, I mean, we use about 27 different personal care products. And if all of them contain endocrine disrupting nasties, that's when we're going to start getting problems. So this is where we can start our journey of at least helping ourselves. Because even if you go somewhere and have this lovely Reiki session and then you're going and eating, produced foods and using aluminium and nasty chemicals on your body, then it's a bit like the balancing the scales. So the ATM, you just took a withdrawal and there's not enough deposits in there. So all of those things, when we look at from cleaning products to our pantry to our beauty products, it makes a big difference when you do them and taking them out to your health and well-being, because there's a lot of these products that are on the market that are really, doing some damage to people's to their immune systems and their endocrine systems.
Yeah. So toxic. so toxic. And smelling the fumes of these things, like bleach, for example. It's just it's so toxic. Well, it's toxic for the environment, it's toxic for you. If you get it on your hands, it's going to burn. How is that good to breathe that in?
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, and it's a process, and sometimes people think that, oh no, I couldn't give up my favorite whatever. I don't use perfumes anymore. I only use essential oils. All my products are all clean living and natural. And it doesn't mean you have to do without. You just have to learn to substitute.
Absolutely. And the other thing that you make as well, Debbie, is your sprays.
Yes.
So they match with the organites too, don't they? You've got some beautiful names for the organites as well, and the sprays. So let us know a little bit about your sprays.
Okay, well, I've been making those sprays for probably about 15 years, and I don't know that people thought they were room sprays, so they didn't really understand them to what the energy was, and they were all just come to me. So there's names like Akashic Access and Awakening and Metatron's Mission and Indigo Peace, and all of these sprays that there's probably 20 odd sprays that I've made over the years. And then when I started making the organites, I thought that would make a good match for them. So I've tried to either use the same crystals. I can't always get the same crystal in chips forms because the chips are in the organites. But if I can't, then at least I color match them. So if it's using a purple crystal and I can't get that crystal, then I'll at least use the purple coloring so that they match. So there's an organite that matches each crystal spray. I've got two different ranges. One's my Oceanic Sea Language one, which and then they've all got symbols on them, like a Lemurian symbols. And then I've got my my spiritual range. So, but then you can have an organite that just, if someone says to me, my house is all blue and white, I want a blue and white to sit either side of my TV. So if people are, have an understanding of the energies, like my latest one that I made was pine protection. And, a lot has been said about pine needle teas and pine. So I've made that one specifically, I use it every time I leave the house, so as the pine protection. So with all the different pine trees in them. It just, and then, when I made the organite, I just made it with the little tree of life on the organite, so it matched the pine spray. So
Beautiful. Well, like you say, you have got all of these products available on your amazing new website, which is www.wellnesswhisperer.com.au. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So people can purchase the products directly from the website, or like you said before, you can customize them. So whatever your branding is or your logo colors, and whatever symbol you've got. So as you know, I'm seriously considering getting some made up for Enlightened Tribe. Because I think that would be fantastic to have them everywhere in people's houses. So it's going to be great. So we'll see how we go with that. And if anybody wants to book a session to see you at your beautiful healing centre in Seacliff Park, South Australia, they can get in touch with you via the Global Wellness Directory, which is at sushaw.com.au, or from your website, which we've just given the details out. And all of that information is also in the comments section as well. So I can highly recommend you go and see Debbie. She knows what she's doing, and she'll help bring you home and bring your soul back. So yay! Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you so much, Sue. Lovely to see you.
It's been great. And thank you, everybody, for listening and joining in. And great to see some old names coming through. So thank you all. There will not be a show next week because I'm actually in Queensland doing kahuna massage training and a retreat. So there will be no Wi-Fi. So we will not be having a show next week. And I'm sure you'll all miss it very much. So we'll be back again the week after. So thanks again, Debbie. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Bye, everybody.
See everyone. Thanks. Bye.